Right now, one of the most important shifts in recent years is beginning to take place in the technology market. If not long ago, foldable smartphones were perceived as an experiment and an expensive toy for enthusiasts, today, this category is gradually turning into a new standard. And at the center of this process more and more often is Xiaomi, which over the past few years has not just entered the foldable device segment, but has effectively established itself as one of its leaders. It is important to understand that Xiaomi achieved this not through loud marketing, but through real technological solutions, as the Xiaomi Mix Fold lineup already demonstrates what a foldable smartphone can be without serious compromises. The company has focused on an ultra-thin body, powerful hardware, and user experience that does not feel like an experiment. In the closed state, such devices are perceived as a regular premium flagship, while when unfolded they turn into a full large screen that can replace a tablet. This is why the latest Xiaomi models have literally started to disrupt the market within their segment, as users have finally received a foldable smartphone that does not require adaptation and does not force them to tolerate inconveniences, which is a crucial point because usability has always been the main barrier to the mass adoption of foldable devices. But the most interesting part is happening right now, because Xiaomi is not just continuing to develop this lineup, but is accelerating the development of the next generation of devices. And according to insider information, new form factors are already being actively tested inside the company that should take foldable smartphones to a completely different level. This is not only about classic book-style models, as one of the key directions is so-called tri-fold devices, systems with a double folding mechanism that can unfold in several stages, where a smartphone can transform into a display close in size to a tablet while remaining compact when folded. And this is where a real technological race begins, because in parallel, Samsung is also developing solutions in this direction, having long been the main player in the foldable market. But Xiaomi's approach is different, as the company focuses on minimal thickness, structural durability, and reducing the visible crease on the display as much as possible. And this is not accidental, because according to numerous rumors, Apple is also focusing on this exact direction as it prepares to enter the foldable smartphone segment. And this is where the situation becomes truly interesting, because the arrival of Apple could completely change the rules of the game, as historically Apple never rushes into new device categories. But when it does, it aims to set a new standard of quality and user experience. According to insider information, the future lineup of foldable iPhones may feature an almost invisible crease, premium materials, and a perfectly optimized system, which means that competition will move to an entirely new level, and Xiaomi understands this perfectly. That is why the company is already accelerating the development of new devices that will be able to compete not only with Samsung, but also with Apple. And this is not just about another smartphone, but about a new generation of devices that are becoming the center of the user's entire ecosystem. A foldable smartphone is gradually ceasing to be just a phone and is turning into a universal device that combines the functions of a smartphone, a tablet, and partially even a laptop. And here, Xiaomi is focusing on integration with its ecosystem, where smart devices, laptops, home appliances, and even automotive solutions are beginning to connect into a single system. And at this moment, a key shift occurs, as the market begins to compete not with individual devices, but with ecosystems. If Xiaomi manages to realize its plans, including tri-fold devices and new generations of mix-fold, the company will be able to offer users not just an alternative to other brands, but a fundamentally new format of interaction with technology. What is especially important is that the very logic of smartphone development is changing. If previously the main focus was on specifications, camera, processor, battery, now the form of the device and the user experience come to the forefront. And this is exactly where the main battle unfolds. The winner will not be the one with more specifications, but the one who offers the most convenient and logical format of use. And Xiaomi is already showing that it is ready to play at this level, as the company is actively investing in flexible displays, new hinge mechanisms, and software that adapts to different usage scenarios. And most importantly, it is doing this faster than most competitors. And if we add to this the speed with which Xiaomi brings new devices to market, it becomes obvious that in the coming years we are facing a real technological race, where each new generation of devices will be not just an update, but a step forward. And in this race, three key players will collide: Xiaomi, Samsung, and Apple, each with its own strategy, as Samsung will continue to develop current form factors and maintain leadership. Apple will try to set a new standard of quality, and Xiaomi will bet on speed, innovation, and aggressive implementation of new technologies including tri-fold devices and ultra-thin designs. And if all of this is put together, one thing becomes clear. We are on the threshold of a new stage in the evolution of smartphones, where the familiar device begins to change, and foldable smartphones are transforming from a niche product into a potential new standard. And right now, it is being decided who will become the leader of this future. And judging by the current dynamics, Xiaomi is no longer catching up with the market, it is becoming one of those who shape it. And there is another point that is still talked about much less often, but it may turn out to be the key in this entire story, because now it is no longer just about the form of the device, but about how exactly a person will interact with technology in everyday life. The fact is that foldable and especially tri-fold devices open up completely new usage scenarios that were simply impossible before. For example, one and the same device can simultaneously act as a smartphone, a workspace, and a multimedia center, while adapting to the situation literally in real time. And according to insider information, inside Xyomi, such scenarios are already being actively tested, where the device does not just change its size, but adjusts the interface, applications, and even system behavior to a specific usage format. This means that in the future, the user may stop thinking altogether about what device they need at any given moment, because a single device will cover all tasks at once. And if Xiaomi manages to bring this concept to a mass product earlier than its competitors, it could give the company a serious advantage, because at that point, we will no longer be talking about a smartphone as such, but about a new category of personal devices. And this is exactly what could become the step that finally establishes foldable devices as the next standard of the industry. As a result, Xiaomi is not just participating in the race, it is trying to lead it. The company has already proven that it is capable of learning quickly and implementing complex technologies at a more accessible price than traditional leaders. And if tri-fold devices and the next generations of mixed-fold truly achieve a seamless display, record thinness, and a smart adaptive system, then the gap between premium and affordable flagship devices may shrink to a minimum. Users will receive not just a foldable phone, but a truly universal everyday device. And then the choice between Samsung, Apple, and Xiaomi will no longer be a question of status, but a question of convenience and real utility. The foldable era of smartphones is no longer far away. It is beginning right now, and Xiaomi, it seems, intends to meet it fully prepared.